reach for my hand, I'll soar away into the dawn. Oh, I wish I could stay here in cherished halls, in peaceful days. I fear the edge of dawn, knowing time betrays. Let's pass through colored glass in this beloved place. Silver shines, the world dines, a smile on each face. A joy surrounds, comfort abounds, and I can feel I'm breaking free. For just this moment lost in time, I am finally me. Yet still I hide behind this mask that I have become. My blackened heart, scorched by flames, a force I can't run from. As I live out these peaceful days, deep in my soul, oh, I wish I could stay. So I wish I could hide away. Oh, I do what I love, keep cruel faith at bay. As the rain falls on your path, I chase your shadow. I don't feel a single drop or the ground below. Then you turn to me and I stop before I know. And the lie upon my lips, I let it go. Close to my heart, making vows I know be betrayed. A sad girl's dreams live only for a breath and then they fade. Don't ever take back your kind hands. Let's precious love slip away like time sands. Only we will know all that was lost, scars that we can't erase. Show us life's true cost. The blue moonlight cuts across our sight as pure and clear as a ringing path, wishing for us in the night. As the wind on my thought, I hold strong on the terrace. I feel at peace, carried away by the wind's soft song. Open the door and walk away. Never give in to the calm of yesterday. Memories that made those days sublime. These ruined halls into stolen time. Reach for my hand, I'll soar away into the dawn. Oh, I wish I could stay here in cherished halls, in peaceful days. I fear the Hello everyone. Can you hear me? I sorry I'm late. I I feel really bad about it. I actually had a really bad stomach ache earlier. I was like doubled over and I couldn't move. And I thought to myself, oh no, I'm probably going to be late at this rate. But I'm here now. So for those of you who stuck around and were patient, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I also need to catch my breath a little because singing singing takes a lot of out of me. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. My name is I am Tia Faire, idol-philosopher and justice incarnate. And I guess I should just start by introducing myself because not all of you here know me. Some of you probably don't. I see a few new and unfamiliar names. So let me start with this. By the way, my audio is probably scuffed. I'm really sorry about that too. The last thing I did before starting stream was like try to change my mic settings. I think I got it to sound okay, but just before I started streaming, I realized it was completely messed up. So I didn't really have a lot of time to fine tune it. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. But here we go. Wait, no, that's the wrong. Already some scuff. Okay. Yeah. All right. So when I say I'm an idol philosopher and justice incarnate, what does that mean? So let me so here's I wrote up some lore, and the text may be a little small, so let me read it out to you. So here it says, Tia Faire is the mortal reincarnation of redacted, the Burning One, known by the general public as Lady Justice. Justice first alighted on Earth approximately 2,000 years ago and was worshipped by the Greeks as Themis and the Romans as Justitia before later disappearing for reasons unknown. History has since then preserved her memory via the image of a blindfolded woman holding a sword and scales, whose likeness adorns courtrooms around the globe. However, this interpretation of her legacy was mistaken, for near the end of her life, Justice understood that true justice is not blind and is dependent on the eye of its beholder. Tia's task henceforth is to complete the work her past self left undone. My shoulder is kind of blocking the text, but that's okay because I know what it says. Past self undone, and bring justice to the world before time snuffs her life's flame. What method will she use to accomplish this? Having the masses take notice of her as a virtual idol, of course. How is that? Did you guys like that? I wrote that myself. I'm pretty proud of my prose, especially the time before time snuffs her life's flame. That part is very Xenoblade coded. What's next? I realized that something I wanted to note that I forgot about was that this, for those of you who don't know, this debut was actually 2 whole years in the making. I guess I could have talked about this later, but that's okay. But it's been 2 whole years. I started wanting to become a VTuber, I guess about 2 years ago. I decided on my concept. The reason it took so long is in large part because of my health issues, which I'll talk more about later. But you know, like a lot of people say when it comes to streaming advice, they say like, oh, just like grab a random picture and start streaming right now, right away. But I didn't really feel like that advice really applied to me. I decided it was better to wait until the time was right, because back when my health issues were worse, I didn't feel like I could stream with any consistency or anything like that. So it's been it's been 2 years in the making. I have feelings about that. I don't really know how to articulate. I guess this is just kind of, it's pretty surreal, and it's yeah, it's surreal, and it's like, for me, this is a big deal. Just how long I've been, this has been in the making. Yeah. So anyway, back to my lore. That's where we left off. So, yes, I am justice incarnate. I am the concept of justice personified, patron saint of warriors, gladiators, and freedom fighters, divine warrior and fairest of them all. I am also an idol philosopher. I am the third official philosophy VTuber. By official, I just mean someone who actually brands themselves as a philosophy VTuber deliberately. I have 2 philosopher VTuber senpai whom I know are watching the stream, because I can see them in chat, and they are really lovely and talented. I really admire and adore them. And while I'm not the very first philosopher VTuber, I am the first idol philosopher in all of human history that I know of. Unless you want to tell me that Kierkegaard was in a boy band or something like that. And an idol philosopher is really just someone who is an idol and a philosopher at the same time. Because there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of idol VTubers, and already a couple of philosopher VTubers, and I wanted to stand out with what made me special. So I'm branding myself. Kierkegaard was in AKB48. All right, well, that's good to know. I never read that in the history textbooks. You've already seen, so I hopefully I've already tried to demonstrate the idol part of my identity. Hopefully you agree that I am something of an idol to you. Not sure how much I want to get into philosophy right now, because if I do, I could really get into it. I'm a little I don't know. I'm a little embarrassed. Do you guys want me to talk about a little about my philosophy as justice incarnate? What does an idol do, Tia? Uh, I think on a literal level, like the very literal answer is just, someone who like sings and dances like an entertainer, which I do. But I think the more meaningful answer is really someone who inspires people, like a role model. Like that's the literal, that's kind of like the original meaning of the word idol, right? A role model. So I think that the ideal idol, that's a little hard to say. The ideal idol is like someone who like sings and dances, but is also a role model. Um, the lore makes me feel like I'm about to be struck down in the best possible way. I don't I don't know what to make of that right now. But I didn't prepare a slide for this because I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about it, and also I was like really running out of time. I made it my debut slides just like an hour before I was supposed to debut, which was I know is like really bad. Like ideally I would have done it yesterday or even earlier, but like as we know, I had the stomach ache earlier, and then yesterday I'd only just finished rigging my model, which I'll talk about in a bit as well. I only just finished rigging. I finished all the movements of my model like at like 7 p.m. yesterday. So we're cutting it pretty close. Um, but even though I don't have a visual, I'll try my best to explain. So imagine on this board, instead of what you see on the screen right now, I know the lower is still up, but imagine there's a triangle, and at each point of the triangle is a different word. And there are 3 words, and they are objectivity, compassion, and action. And the word justice is in the middle of the triangle. So basically, I've come to think that just what what is, like, the thing is, like, what is justice? Like that's the question, right? What is justice? Because that's an, it's an abstract concept that can have, different meanings to different people. I feel like traditionally, at least when it comes to the Western tradition, people, the definition of justice that people have is really, it's like basically retribution, right? Like it's about sort of rewarding the good and punishing the wicked. But I don't know if that's a definition that I agree with, at least anymore. I think that justice is, as I said, just a little while ago, I think that an action must sort of have the characteristics of objectivity, compassion, and action, in order to qualify as justice, as a just act, or the person sort of committing the act ideally should have those 3 qualities, to be objective, compassionate, and active. Without, if at least if one or more of those qualities is missing, I think that it's hard for justice to take place. The reason that I think this is basically a theory that I've developed. This is a theory that I've started developing, I'll say starting maybe about 5 years ago. So I've been working on it for a while, and it comes from a few different sort of philosophical inspirations, as well as just my own kind of experiences and observations about the world. But this is my working theory on the philosophy of justice. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think of it, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about that. Cause like this is the first time I've talked about this in kind of like you know, like openly, like in a public arena. So what do we have next? I think I wanted to talk about my art at this point. So are we ready? No, we're not ready for the next slide yet. I don't have a separate slide for my art. I would have, but see, the thing is, okay, there are. Okay, first things first. I drew I drew my own model, and I rigged it too. That's probably the most important thing to know here. I do you guys like it, by the way? Like my art, because I don't know if how many of you have seen the intro post I made on Reddit. Some of you may have, and I'm sure some of you didn't. But I basically talked about how a bit about my background. Several years ago, basically, I left school because of health issues, and I decided that my goal would be to focus on trying to become a freelance artist, because that was my childhood dream. You know, since then I've been basically teaching myself to draw professionally, and this is the result. Like I started on this journey of teaching myself to draw on a professional level about 5 years ago, although maybe about like 3 years ago was when I like really started hunkering down, and this is the outcome of like of all that dedication. I don't have any examples of my old art. If I did, you could see how much I've improved. Uh, I mean, you guys seem really nice, so I'm sure that even if I showed you an example of my old drawings, you'd still be like, oh, that's still really good. But just trust me when I say that I think my art is much better now. I'm pretty happy with how the model art came out, I have to say. And I'm not gonna lie, this model is, I feel like it's pretty safe to describe it as like my magnum opus. Like I don't think I've accomplished anything more impressive than this over the, you know, like ever. Maybe I will in the future, but so far, like, this is it. Like, drawing and rigging my own model, like, it's been taking me over the course of 2 years. Like, I decided on my concept, and then I I kept on revising the design, and I would basically, each time I came up with the design, I would try to draw it, I would try to turn it into a model, but usually what would happen is I would start getting really dissatisfied with my art. I would run into obstacles like I would you know, I wouldn't know how to translate my vision into reality, and so I would stop drawing and go back to studying technique, so that next time I would be able to draw what I had in mind. And I basically repeated that cycle many times over the course of 2 years. Just basically design, try to draw a model, give up, study, design again. It's happened like, how many cycles or iterations were there? I want to say maybe up to 5. This might be like the 4th or 5th design, and this was the lucky one. Yeah. And I wanna talk a bit about my design now, because I feel like some of you might be curious about it. So my design is basically just what I would envision someone who is both an idol and a philosopher would look like. As you can see, I hope you can see, I hope you'll agree that my design is idol inspired. It's so as to deliberately invoke that kind of iconography. I don't know if I should show my whole. Should I do a model? I don't know how much of a model showcase I can do, and I'll explain the reason for that. But for one for one thing, do you guys notice like one of the facial expressions I can make? I'm going to try to do it, and it's gonna be like a little weird though. That's not a toggle. It's just my tracking. it's a very like, I feel like it's a very crony slash Kiara coded facial expression. Wait, let me see what I can do, cause should I show the? Okay, how do I do this? I really don't know. I've never done this or even like practiced this before. So, oh, you can see the cursor. That's not good. I'm gonna. Okay. I got it. I got it. So, yeah. So we'll do it like this. So here are my shoesies. They don't move around very much. I can see them moving around. I don't know if it's perceptible to you, just ever so slightly. And then we have stockings. And then my I'm cut off a little. So you can see now that maybe I should have talked about my rig first, but that's okay. You can see now that my skirt doesn't have physics because I ran out of time to finish the physics. But I figure, like, honestly, like 99% of the time, like, I'm gonna be streaming from the waist up, so like, does it like even really matter that much? Your stockings are so cute. Oh, thank you. And then yeah, so here's the skirt design. It's got three, as you can see, it's got 3 layers. In one of my previous designs, there were actually 4 layers, and I ended up taking it away when I did this design because I figured 4 was just maybe a little too many, and it made the rigging unnecessarily complicated. And I also have these nice elbow length gloves. And the stockings and glove make me think Magical Girl quite a bit. I'm glad you said that, because I'm also a little inspired by Magical Girls, especially Tokyo Mew Mew. I don't know if any of you guys ever watched that show, but I was like really obsessed with it when I was like in middle school. Red and white are good justice colors. Yes, I would agree. Very much. And I just noticed my head is cut off too. That's okay. Not Titan. Boing boing. I wanted to say that line. I only read the manga. Oh yeah, that's based. I think the manga might be better than the anime, to be honest. And then so I should move on. All the gay men in my chat are like, boring. Next. Okay, and then also I'll zoom it to the, because I want to show off this detail. Look at the collar on my neck, and the ribbon on it. big ribbon. And do you see what's on the ribbon? It's the scales of justice. It symbolizes, it's a symbol of justice, of me. So it's and inside inside in the center of the scales, there's what looks like a it's a core crystal. But what about the lesbians? I think you guys are eating good. Don't complain. And it's just my face. My face. And I have a tiara too. Yeah, you guys can see. Full disclosure, my tiara is heavily inspired by both Mithra from Xenoblade and Marth from Fire Emblem, because those are two of my favorite characters. So maybe you can see the inspiration. I really like the way that it turned out, honestly. I like the design. I struggled with the design for a while, but I think I found one that I'm really that I'm happy with. And the hair too, honestly. So maybe I'll like zoom out and go back to like my my normal size now, if I can just do that. There we go. It was something like this, right? No, not with my head cut off. There, that's better. So what was I gonna say? I forgot now. The design. Right, the design. So fun fact, something I mentioned that I went through multiple designs, but something that's always been a constant ever since the very beginning was the red dress and brown hair. So my design was always a girl with brown hair and a red dress, basically. That was always the same from the very beginning. But the other details changed, you know, like ever so slightly throughout the whole design process. And yeah, anyway, so I know what I didn't do. I didn't show off what my entire model looks like all at once. Wait, hold on just a sec. I'm going to turn off this just for a moment, because I want you guys to, I want to be on the background. How do you guys like the background, by the way? So here's what I look like my whole body all at once. Ta-da! What do you guys think? The background was, and okay, another fun fact about my debut. So at one point, I wanted to make every asset for the debut myself. Like I was like, I'm gonna draw my model, I'm gonna rig my model, but I'm also gonna make like the background. I'm gonna make everything because I want to brag about being like a completely self-produced VTuber, you know? I want the bragging rights. But it turned out that just drawing and rigging my model by itself was just like I almost died. So I think this background was one I bought on VGen. It was pre-made. When I saw it, I knew it was the one for me, and then I felt less bad about not drawing my own background, because I didn't really have time. Because look at the color scheme. It's just like me. It's got red and white, and it's also like, do you guys see the teddy bears, the little teddy bears on the sides? That's very like me. I'm the kind of person that displays stuffed animals in my room. I see two out of 3 philosophers have really neat and well-maintained rooms, it seems. I think we can guess who the odd one is. I feel like I know who you're talking about, but to be fair, I don't have any evidence that your claim is true. And even if it was, I'm not gonna talk smack about my senpai on my debut stream. That can wait for later. And then okay, so now fine. How many stuffed animals do you have? That's an unfair question. I have the correct number. That's all you need to know. I have the appropriate number of stuffed animals. There we go. I feel it's it's kind of like this. Let me turn back on the no. Wrong window. My cursor was on the wrong window. Okay. I'll put the easel back on, and I will avoid making the same mistake I did at the beginning. So I keep getting sidetracked from the point that I wanted to make. So, idol-philosopher. So, my design, I think we all agree now that my design has the idol part covered and then the philosopher part. So I did have a little bit of difficulty thinking about what a philosopher looks like. Someone told me that their stereotype of a philosopher used to be like person, and I think they said like toga, and like I think that's like too narrow sort of a definition of what a philosopher is, you know. But I thought, you know what, it's probably going to be challenging to convey to people that I am a philosopher purely through my design. I think I tried my best with the justice symbol on my collar, because that I feel like you see that and you think, you know, that probably means something. That's probably meaningful. But I basically I thought about how I like a lot of 19th century philosophy, and I thought about how I feel like a lot of philosophers come from, especially around then, they came from the educated class, or like kind of the upper class, sometimes like nobility, and I feel like it's easy to understand why that might have been the case, because if you think about it, poor people like don't really have like the luxury of like, you know, like spending their time on energy on things like philosophy, because like they're worrying about like just, you know, like material material needs like food, and so it makes sense that like rich people would be the ones who have that luxury. I think a lot of intellectuals and change makers and revolutionaries from that time period actually came from the upper class, but their interests were in the lower class, interestingly enough. So that was like that was part of the I guess the that was part of the basis for my inspiration and my thought process. So I think someone told me that my design looked a bit noble, and I think it's pretty close to what I'm going for. Like you know. And then I wanna, while we're still talking about art, I want to show something else. And it's actually this this is a let me turn off the easel again so it's easier to see. But this, do you guys see this? This is a my weapon, and it's called the Penblade. It's a sword, but it's, because I'm a philosopher, it's also, you know, it also like looks a bit like a pen. I don't think it actually functions like a pen though. I don't think that you can really write anything with it. I as you can see, I've had this design planned out for a while. I didn't have the chance to like make a better looking reference piece. I actually just drew this like again like half an hour before my stream was supposed to start. That's why it looks kind of sketchy, but I think it's clear enough that you can see what the design is supposed to be. So yeah, so as you can see, the design is such that the blade is supposed to resemble the tip of like an old-fashioned pen, and then the handle, or no, I guess not really the handle, the hand guard is supposed to resemble a quill, and yes, so Penblade. It has another name as well, by the way, besides Penblade, but that's a secret right now. So yes, I'm. I hope you like my weapon. Every warrior needs a weapon after all. I'm gonna hide this again. Bye bye, Penblade. Anything else? So yeah, I have you guys heard of the Project Triangle? Like there's probably different names for it, but do you guys know what that is? Like it's like the concept that like a project can be, there are 3 things a project can be, and you got to pick 2 of them at any given time. Like it can be like it can be good, and the 3 things it can be are good and fast / on time and cheap. But it can't be all 3 at once. You have to pick 2. So I feel like for my VTuber model, I wanted it to be good, you know, just for one thing. I didn't want it to be bad. So yeah, like I could additionally choose cheap or fast, and I didn't want to pay someone to do my model for, like, I considered it, but I had multiple reasons not to, you know, just, you know, one being budget, and then another just wanting more creative control. And so I picked the cheap option. But my model is not, it's not fast and it's not on time. It's very, very late. It's been 2 whole years. But yeah, let me, oh no, I did it again. Okay, I think we're finally ready for the next slide. I've been singing and talking for like 45 minutes, and we still haven't, like, we've barely gotten through like the freaking slideshow. Okay, next. No. I blame OBS for that one. It imported my images backwards, in backwards order, and I didn't have time to fix it. So let's just pretend that that did not happen. Okay. So profile. My name is Tia Faire, but you may also address me as Justice, or Lady Justice if you so choose. My job is idol-philosopher, as I've already explained to you. My age is, God knows. My soul has been around for a very, 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 very long time. It's at least 2,000 years old. Even I'm not sure how old it is. Biologically, though, I'm 30. And I'm 17 at heart. Um, my birthday is November 9, which is today. Funny story. I looked out the window this morning and I was like, holy crap, it's snowing. And it was really cool because I find that usually like many years the first day of snow coincides with my birthday. It's either, you know, somewhere during the week of my birthday or even on my birthday itself, like it is this like it is this year. And apparently it was also the first day of snow with the year I was born, like on the day I was born, like that year. Not that I remember that personally. It's just what I've been told. My height is 163 centimeters for those of you who use freedom units. That's 5 feet 4 inches. No, not too tall and not too short. And languages. So you may be surprised to hear this, but technically speaking, English is not my first language. It's my second language. You can see the languages I've listed out here, the languages that I speak in chronological order of when I learned them. So I speak Tiếng Việt or Vietnamese, English, French, and Japanese. So English is technically my second language and Vietnamese is my first language. The reason for that is when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to speak English at home. So I didn't start learning like when I like on the first day of kindergarten, I could not speak English. And obviously you can tell like eventually I caught up with the other kids, but that was a little awkward. Having said that, I don't have the opportunity to speak in Vietnamese very much anymore, so needless to say that English has long surpassed Vietnamese as my main language. So I am conversationally fluent in Vietnamese, but I am more fluent in English. And then yeah, I also technically know how to speak French. I studied it up to the sort of the maximum level in high school. But high school was like 12 years ago, so I forgot. Like I'm really rusty. Like I've forgotten a lot. If I wanted to speak French again, I would have to study once more. Like, and I don't have anyone to practice speaking French with, and so I don't really engage with any French language media either. So like literally that means like my only exposure to French is like, if you live in when you go to like I don't know, like the airport or like the GO station, you'll hear things like Bienvenue à Air Canada, like you hear things like the PA. That's like literally the only French like I hear these days. And finally, sort of speak Japanese. I am still learning it. I started teaching it. I started teaching it to myself 2 years ago. Only for a little while, like about a month really, and then I stopped. And recently, I've been wanting to pick it back up again. I actually, I've prepared a message in Japanese that I want to try reading out. Hopefully, I don't like butcher it. So please listen. みんなこんばんは。 正義の化身であり、アイドル哲学者ティア・フェアです。はじめまして。今日は海外なき VTuber として初めての配信です。嬉しい。このモデルは私が描きました。かわいいですか？今は日本語を独学お勉強中です。少し日本語を話せます。でも漢字は読めません。ごめんなさい。VTuber として制限をより良い場所にしたいです。ありがとう。頑張ります。かわいい。ありがとう、花ちゃん。So I hope you enjoyed that, even if most of you might not be able to understand that. I hope one of my goals or motivations for learning Japanese is to hopefully in the future make Japanese speaking friends, maybe even collab with JP VTubers and streamers. Are we okay to move on? I think so. I don't even know what my next slide is, honestly. Likes and dislikes. I'll try to go through these quickly because we're going slow. So I like my likes and dislikes. I like helping people. I like I kind of have a hero complex. Like I like the idea of saving people and making a difference. I like being useful to people and knowing that I've made a difference in their lives. I can be almost, sometimes helpful to a fault, really. I have a habit of overextending myself, which I am, supposed to be working on, but it's kind of hard when I feel like it's just my nature. I also like visual art, although that probably doesn't surprise you by now. I've always been a very visual person, one who is driven to try to convey my ideas and my feelings in a visual form. I've always been fascinated by art and like what makes art good, like on a technical level, like why is some art technically proficient and effective at what it is, and why is some poor? And that's something I feel like I've always wanted to try to understand my whole life, and it's driven me to it's led me here to drawing my own VTuber model. I actually my inspiration, I first started drawing when I was like 3 years old, and my inspiration was like Sailor Moon. So I've been drawing for a very long time. Although later, when I was a little older, my main inspiration became, instead of shoujo, it became like shonen, shonen anime instead. Like when I was a little older, I got really into Naruto and Bleach, and mm, mm, nowadays I have a much more diverse range of inspirations, um, which I won't get into right now because really that could furnish the material for an entire stream about art. Someone recently asked me, um, uh, how did you learn to draw so well? Which is really nice of them to say. So I could also see myself for one, I might do drawing streams sometimes. I haven't decided if I will yet, or when I start, because I kind of get like performance paralysis when drawing in front of people, but I could also sometime I might do a stream talking more about my inspirations and how I taught myself to draw, because I feel like that might be a subject that people are interested in. And then what else? I also like music. You probably you can tell by now too, since I sang, but I like singing. I recently mentioned that the first time I performed on stage was when I was 4 years old. I sang Twinkle, Twinkle Little Star at somebody's wedding, like some sort of like family friend or something like that. I don't remember who it was, but I what was it? It wasn't planned ahead in advance. Like I wasn't slated to perform. What happened was, originally some other girl in around my age was supposed to be singing, so she already got on stage and was like supposed to sing, but it turned out she didn't know the words to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And I'm like, how do you, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because like I love music so much that, like, yes, even at the tender age of 4, I was already fluent in the lyrics of like nursery rhymes, and maybe like not all 4-year-olds are built different, but she couldn't sing, and but they needed someone to sing, so somehow I got volunteered. I don't know if it was because I personally volunteered or because someone pointed me out. Like maybe I was just sitting at my table saying like, I know the lyrics to this song, and then I got volunteered from there. Yeah, and so I ended up singing it. I remember that, and I really enjoyed it too. And I love animals. I love animals, especially like fluffy domestic animals, but a lot of wild animals are cool as well. And when I say animals, that includes plushies and stuffed animals. They're so cute. My favorite animals, probably bunnies, dogs, and birds. Although honorable mention goes to bears. I love Hololive. I am obsessed with Hololive. Like those of you who saw my Reddit post, you know how I discovered VTubing. It was actually through Inugamic Korone's stream of Metroid Dread in 2021. And Metroid Dread came out in October 2021, which means that I've actually been into VTubers for 4 years. So I've been a VTuber fan for more than 4 years now, and how should I have a lot of Hololive merch. Like I don't know, I'm actually really not sure how to like talk about or try to like qualify or convey sort of like my like how this feels for me. Actually, it wasn't too long ago, maybe in the last few months, I had a I had a I had a Hololive related dream. It wasn't my first Hololive related dream. I've actually had several. This was just the most recent one. So what happened was, I was in a classroom, right? I was in school, and 2 of the students in the class were Hololive members. I think it was Sora and Kanata, and yeah, they were in the class. I'm not sure if they were just guests or if they were just actually enrolled at the school, but they were there. And then the teacher came, and then like the class started, and then it turned out that for the class that day, we were actually going to like look at Hololive content, like Hololive concerts and streams, like on a projector, and like talk about them. And I was kind of like, oh no, because like I'm like because there were 2 there were two like Hololive members like in the flesh in the same room as us, and I didn't want them to get doxxed. So I had to run interference, and I had to be like, no, like these people were watching on this stream are like completely different people. Like they have nothing to do with like the girls that are like in the room with us. I think it worked. Nobody caught on. But that's not all. Like after the uh after class ended, like the school day ended, and then for some reason there was a pizza party. Maybe it was like there was a special event. There was a pizza art party, and there were like lots of tables in the cafeteria, and I was like I was sitting at one table, and then do you know who came to the pizza party? It was Takanashi Kiara, and I'm such a big fan of her. I was like, ah, it's Kiara, and she came to the table, and I was like, she sat down, and like I made sure to get her like a slice of pizza, and I was like I made sure she was comfortable. I was like, do you if you can ask me if you need anything. I was waiting on her hand and foot, and I and, and I realized I wanted to take a selfie with her, right? Because it was a really special moment. The problem was I left my phone in my bag, and I gave my bag to someone, but they left and they hadn't come back yet. And then I woke up. So I didn't get to take a selfie with Kiara, but I got to eat pizza with her. Well, the pizza had, I couldn't eat the pizza, so I guess I just watched her eat pizza, and maybe like got her like drinks and water and all that stuff. But I'm okay with that. So another dream that I recall was I also had a shorter dream one time where for some reason I was doing an off collab with Watabe in Japan. I don't know why, that we were eating potachi together and going like crunch crunch, and we were playing some kind of game. I don't remember what game. I've had more Hololive related dreams than that, although frankly I don't remember the other ones as well. I think those are probably two of the best ones. Oh, and I also like angels. And I know that angels aren't supposed to be something that is like physically real. So when I say that, I guess I mean that I just like the concept of angels, like the symbolism and the imagery. I can't say that word for some reason, and also the yeah, just like the meaning behind them. And I like a lot of the fictional characters and designs that I like are ones that are kind of like angel coded, such as like Mithra from Xenoblade, whom I already mentioned, both because of her like white dress and like, her lore, or like Sophidia from Soul Calibur. Even myself, I've tried to incorporate a somewhat angelic or divine element to my design, because I don't know if you recall, but my design has quite a lot of like feather like components to it, like for example the skirts and the gloves, white and feathery, so it's supposed to invoke angels. And I like spicy food. I know not everyone has such a great spicy tolerance, but mine is pretty good. I would actually say that my spicy tolerance is probably the second best out of everyone I know. With the only person you know, being better than me is my own father. Like that guy could probably eat a volcano if it fit in his mouth. I don't yeah. So my spicy tolerance isn't that good. Like I don't go to like I don't participate in like spicy like food eating contests or like anything that crazy, but I do. Yeah, it's I actively seek out spicy food, and it's very rare for me to actually eat anything that I find too spicy. It's only happened a couple times before. um and then my dislikes. I realized recently that one of my main dislikes is being powerless. Like I like being useful and feeling like I don't know, like kind of like I guess I have control at all times. Like I don't like feeling like I there's nothing I can do and I'm powerless to change the circumstances around me. I think that's honestly one of the worst feelings in the world. I'm tempted to say it might even be the worst feeling in the world actually, at least for me. I also hate generalizations, and I don't know if this is the best word for it. I couldn't really think of the perfect way to phrase it, but it's funny because I actually just watched a stream about generalizations yesterday. So I basically hate things like I guess all forms of like cognitive bias when people are wrong and they don't know that they're wrong and they like don't want to admit that they're wrong and things like that, or when people I also hate being like misunderstood. Like I really hate it when people are just really judgmental. I hate I hate black and white thinking. Like, I myself I try to um I look at the whole world with nuance. I think it's more interesting that way and more just. Um I guess if anyone has spicy, no, has better tolerance, it would be family. Yeah, like I actually started eating spicy food when I was like 6 years old. It's funny because I remember sitting at a family meal and there was the meal was supposed to come with like fish sauce, but the only fish sauce they had chili peppers in it. Like they didn't make a non-spicy version for the kids. And I was like only 6, so I was like, no, I don't want to eat it. It's like it'll be spicy. But then they were like, no, just try it. And I tried it, and I guess like I just put up with it, and then eventually, not only did I get used to it, I actually started to prefer it. I also hate lying. I think that lying is generally immoral outside of like an axe murderer kind of scenario, um, or as I like to call it, Nazis. Search for Anne Frank in your attic. You're not gonna sell an Anne Frank, are you? Um, yeah, I believe that lying, violates someone's right to the truth. I think that it does a lot of harm. I myself avoid lying, and I'm also really bad at lying. Like I'm so bad at lying that I can't even play social deduction games like Among Us because I make a great crewmate, but I'm like the worst imposter of all time. Like I can't even lie for fun in a game. I also hate bureaucracy. Does anyone else like by bureaucracy? I mean like like when you're in a situation where like you want to do something and like someone says you can't, but like not because of like a good reason, but just because of a whole bunch of like really arbitrary rules and formalities. Like I really hate that. I like I'm the kind of person that I kind of just I want to do. I kind of want just to. I kind of just want to do what I want. I don't want to have to go through a lot of red tape. It's actually one of the factors as to why I eventually um, settled on becoming an indie VTuber, because at one point I did consider becoming an agency VTuber. So in a different timeline that could have happened. As part of my dislike of progressy, I also hate I hate paperwork. It gives me anxiety. I get teased for this. And next, I dislike creepy crawlies. I will not. So my personal definition of creepy crawlies is basically just animals. Although I feel like calling them animals is a bit generous, but like creatures that have either too many legs or not enough legs. That's what creepy crawlies are to me. I won't expand any further on that definition. I don't want to dwell on this. And finally, I hate gore. I don't feel like I have quite as many phobias as a certain other philosopher that I can think of, but nevertheless, gore is one thing I draw a hard line at. I can't deal with it at all. And then actually, spiders aren't so bad. I know they do have a lot of legs, but I guess maybe I should add another like another part to the definition. Things that have too many legs or not enough legs, and it's especially bad if they're long. If they're long boys, and spiders are not long. I didn't say I love spiders either, but I don't yeah. I'm kind of neutral to spiders. Trivia. Okay. So, it's about time to I guess I feel like it's about time to mention this, but I'm actually married. I've been married for four years now. I got married during the lockdown. My husband's name is Leon, and he's actually I think he's been here in the chat right now. He's the one that asked me that loaded question about stuffed animals because he knows it'll bother me, and he likes messing with me. But all the same, I'm really grateful to him. Like how do I say this? Like, you know how like nowadays it's like really popular to say stuff like, oh, you should be a strong, independent woman, like who don't need no man. So for me, the thing is, I do need him. Not just in more ways than one. Like not just in a material sense, but also in the sense of like I wouldn't be here without him. I wouldn't be who I am today without him. It's not a stretch to say that you know, he might have saved my life. He's also the closest thing I have to, I guess, a manager. He's the one that makes sure I eat well, or that I'm eating at all, and that I wake up on time and stuff like that. So you know, if you're glad that I'm here and you appreciate me, then please also give Leon a warm welcome and a thank you and a round of applause, because he deserves it. I don't express my gratitude to him I've often enough, because I'm just really bad at talking about my feelings, but he does deserve it. I'm also a child abuse survivor. I know that's a very unusual thing to disclose in a debut stream, or maybe even just really any stream. But the reason I mention this is not to try to get attention from people or to seek pity. I think it's just positive or negative. Even if it's negative, it really just is a fact about me, and something that's important to my life. And I also think it's important to acknowledge these things and try to spread more awareness about them. And I mentioned health issues earlier. So the reason I have so many health issues is related to PTSD, and it makes life tough sometimes, but I manage. And my issues are better now than they used to be. Like they used to actually interfere with my quality of life a lot more. Like I wouldn't be able to like eat or sleep or like get out of bed. Like it was that serious. And nowadays my life is more normal than that, thankfully. And also on the emotional side, I've been doing a lot better recently as well. Um, and funny thing, since I'm a philosopher VTuber, I thought I would mention that I thought I would talk about how I got into philosophy, because I feel like every uh, every philosopher has an origin story, right? Like, how did you get into philosophy? Everyone has one. And for me, it's in high school, in grade 12 French class. One of our required readings was L'étranger by Albert Camus, or if you don't speak French, Albert Camus. And I feel like it was probably my first time engaging with a philosophical text, and it really struck me. Like, I don't want to spoil the novel, for anyone who hasn't read it and wants to, but it's the kind of piece of media that leaves you haunted after you experience it. And even after, so I did the reading, even after, I think I can't remember what even the assignment was, but after it was over, the book stuck with me. And not because of the French, but because of the existentialism. And I decided I would look more into Albert Camus, the author, and I ended up reading about his theory of the absurd. It really, really resonated with me like nothing before as a child abuse survivor, because I really did wonder and have to ask myself, like, why am I here? And I think that discovering philosophy really helped me manage and make sense of my trauma. Because Camus says that even if life is kind of meaningless, that it's still worth living anyway. Like, that's kind of maybe a slightly oversimplified summary of his theory, but you get the idea. That was my takeaway from it, and I would say that it really helped. And because suffice to say that Camus and existentialism and philosophy are part of the reason that I didn't go to the I didn't hurry and go to the big YouTube channel in the sky back then at the age of 17. I decided to hold out. My mental health used to be like rock bottom. And now that I'm a content creator, part of what I want to do is to try to yeah, spread awareness about trauma, like I said. I'm interested in exploring the intersection between philosophy and trauma as well. Like, I don't know if philosophy of trauma is a thing yet, or what that entails, but or what that might entail if it already is a thing. But yeah, I think that I, I know I was gonna say something, and now I forgot what it was. Yeah, it's because from my experience of because I based on personal experience, because I know that philosophy helped me with my trauma. I also I believe that it could help other trauma survivors too. Because in high school I started getting like deep into existentialism, and it led me to take existentialism courses in university, and I also got into formal logic back then as well, and that was really helpful because back then I was surrounded by like a lot of, I don't know, like gaslighting and other like, and just generalizations and other logical fallacies, and learning about formal logic actually helped me combat all that stuff and fend it off. So I think yeah, I'm thinking that I'll be able to use philosophy to help other people, people like me. I would very much like to do that. I'm allergic to gluten. I ate gluten when I was young. I developed this about 5 years ago, and I've cut out gluten permanently. So just letting you know, in case, like, on the off chance we ever eat together, not to serve me gluten, because I'm pretty sensitive to it. Like, even just smelling or touching gluten can do it for me. It's pretty bad, let alone actually eating it. And then I majored in business. I wonder if anyone finds this interesting, because I personally, no bread. I'm used to eating without gluten, by the way. Like, I never was like the biggest fan of bread in the first place, and like I'm used to it. I found like gluten-free substitutes for most of the things that I like wanted to eat before and that I still want to eat, and like honestly, like 90% of junk food has like gluten in it. So if you cut out gluten, it makes it like, actually, in my opinion, it makes it easier to eat healthy. Like, you will probably end up eating healthier by default. I'm Asian of business. Yeah, so yeah, so I think this is interesting. Because I guess that's just because being a business major is something that I feel like is usually mutually exclusive, with both being a philosopher and a VTuber. Like, I don't feel like a lot of creatives or philosophers are very business minded. Um, but I mean, basically, when I was in my senior year of high school, I had to decide on what to major, and my family's dream for me was always to like become like a doctor, right? And but I hate gore, so like, how was I gonna become a doctor? So but like but I knew I still needed to study something that at least had a veneer of prestige and practicality. If I did like the liberal arts, they would have like flayed me alive. They were paying for my tuition, so I like you know what I'm trying to say. So I didn't I wasn't gonna do medicine. So I chose business. That felt like a reasonable compromise. I never had any prior experience in business before that, so it was pretty tough in some ways. But I feel like I learned it was useful to me at the same time. Like I the what am I trying to say? So I guess my idea at the time was that I ultimately I didn't necessarily want to go into a career as a businesswoman. I was mainly interested in the arts, but I was hoping that maybe learning more about business would help me run my career as an artist by better understanding the business side of things. And I feel like that's something that has held true, or maybe will hold true, as I don't necessarily feel like I've had the opportunity to showcase this yet. But yeah, I'm hoping that. And by the way, I'm technically I chose business as my major, but I don't have a business degree because I never graduated. But nevertheless, the things that I did learn, I yeah, I think they'll be useful to me going forward. Um, and lastly, I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I will say up front that I don't think that that's a dox because Toronto is a major metropolitan area. It's like how we know that like a fair number of Hololive members live in basically in Tokyo or in the vicinity of Tokyo, and like that doesn't really help us know how to find them. Like yeah, so if I had said like I live in Goderich, Ontario, which has like a population of 8,000, that would be a bigger problem. But yeah, the reason I mention it is because like I mean I am Canadian, like, and I feel like 90 90% of Canada's population is like concentrated in two cities. So if you know that I'm Canadian and you know my time zone, you're like already like 90% sure that I live in Toronto anyway. And Toronto is also the only place that I've ever lived. Like, I was born here, and I've never lived in any other house and anywhere else. Not another city and not even another country. It's because I know Toronto so well, and I'm kind of sheltered and I don't know anywhere else. Like when I talk about myself, I will end up I feel like I will end up mentioning Toronto no matter what anyway, so I might as well just talk about it right now. Okay, here we are at favorite media. So my some of my favorite game series are, and this is a non-exhaustive list, but one of them is Xenoblade Chronicles. I've already made reference to it within this stream. I've been like really obsessed with Xenoblade this year, especially since Xenoblade X Definitive Edition came out earlier this year, and it's like literally already it's like one of my favorite games of all time. It's extremely underrated, and Xenoblade is just it's like a really special series. Like the lore, the lore and the story, like the like gameplay, the like exploration, they're all like really special. Like I feel like um maybe if I were to try to pin down like why it feels different to me from most games is I feel like with most games the, the plot in the game exists like just as an excuse for the gameplay, but with Xenoblade it's the opposite. The gameplay is an excuse for the plot, but the plot is the main event. And but that doesn't mean like the gameplay is bad. Like far from it, actually. Um, and it's all because the series director Tetsuya Takahashi, he's like such an auteur. He's which is I feel like is not all that common in the gaming space, because you have like a lot of auteur
music, no, not music, like movie directors and that kind of thing. But in gaming, that's not as common. So yeah, the Xenoblade Chronicles series is very, like, by especially by gaming standards, it's very philosophical, um, very profound and thought provoking, and very inspirational. And they're also really fun and well designed. I would really recommend them to you guys if you're interested in watching me or watching Philosopher VTubers in general. Um, Another series that I really like is Fire Emblem. I've actually I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes every day for like the past 6 years. I've only missed like about 3 days, and it was mostly because I was like on vacation and like forgot. I missed 3 days. Otherwise, I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes every day for 6 years, and it's the only gacha game I play. Um, but yeah, my first Fire Emblem was Awakening. I first wanted to play Fire Emblem basically because of Smash. That's like the reason like so many other Western Fire Emblem fans started playing Fire Emblem. It's because of Marth and Roy in Melee. But yeah, like Awakening was really fun. It was like it's like yeah, it's just basically war, but with matchmaking, right? That was cool. And then I played that was, and then Fates came out really soon, like within a year after I played Awakening, and then I played Fates 2, and then I went back after I finished Fates. I played all the older Fire Emblems that have been localized. I played Blazing Blade, Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. Not necessarily in that order. I actually think I played Path of Radiance first out of all of those. And then another series I like is Bayonetta. I actually haven't played I haven't played Fire Emblem Engage or Bayonetta 3 yet because I was trying to save them for streaming. I just didn't know it would take me 2 years to 2 years to debut. Okay, so but I played Xenoblade 3 though. But I like Bayonetta. I first played Bayonetta again because of Smash. It was after she got into Smash 4, and then they released Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch, and I decided to buy them because I think they were on discount, and I was like really interested in them by that point, and I yeah, I really enjoyed the games. Like they're not what they look like at they're not what they look like at first glance. Like that's what I'll say about that. Um, uh, um, yeah, I remember like my basic impression like after I finished Bayonetta 1, like my basic impression of the game was like I want to be like Bayonetta when I grow up, even though I was already an adult at that point. Like that was still how I felt because she's so cool. And I also like the Metroid series. I'm a big fan of the Metroid series. I actually, believe it or not, I used to enjoy trying to speedrun the 2D Metroid games back when I was in high school. I would try to do that with I played I played Metroid Zero Mission, Fusion, and Super Metroid. Out of all of those, I played Zero Mission the most. I think I actually beat it like maybe like 12 times or so, like 12 or 13 times. And my best time was, I think, like an hour and 12 minutes. Which is nothing compared to the world record. Like an hour and 12 minutes for like any percent category, which is nothing compared to the world record, which is like, I don't know, like 20 minutes or just something insane. That but yeah, I like the Metroid series as well. I'm not planning to play Metroid Prime 4, which is releasing soon. Really, just because I can't play first. Yeah, I can't play first person shooters. I get motion sickness. But I am hoping to at least watch someone stream the game. um, and I wanted to talk. I don't really have time to talk about all my favorite media, but at least I wanted to say a bit about my favorite music. So my kamiyoshi is Hochimashi Suisei from Hololive. Suisei is honestly, I feel like I relate to her a lot in many ways. I think we have a lot of similarities, including maybe certain personality traits. She was the main one who inspired me. She was the one who inspired me to draw and rig my own model, because that was in fact something that she did at the start of her career before before joining Hololive. And I figure, well, I mean, if she can do it, like, why can't I? And in principle, I was right. In practice, it was a lot easier said than done. But yeah, I love Hololive, like in general. Like I have some members I'm more like attached to other like than others, but I would say that I kind of support and all the members, like in general, kind of like dareremo daisuki, and yeah, like Hololive is like, I probably like I owe a debt of gratitude to Hololive, really, because I wouldn't be here without it. Like, it, first of all, it was through Korone that I discovered VTubing in the first place, and then it was Suisei that gave me like much of the impetus to become a VTuber myself. So I so yeah. My flesh Oshi is Taylor Swift. I am a lifelong Swiftie. I've been a Swiftie since I was 13 years old, and 13, of course, being a special number for Taylor Swift. I've been a Swiftie since Fearless era, and I will probably continue to be a Swiftie for all the future eras. To me, she's more than just a musician. She's a personal inspiration. I didn't really have a lot of role models growing up, especially not female role models. But so Taylor Swift was one of the first people I felt like I could really look up to and safely emulate. And I yeah, I still admire her very much. And while I didn't write it down here, I considered making some like little fine print near the bottom, but I have other Oshis as well. My Holo En Oshi is Takanashi Kiara. My Holo Stars Oshi is Axel Sirios. And by the way, when I say that I'm obsessed with Hololive, that actually includes Holo Stars. Because when I say Hololive, that basically means Holo Pro. So yeah, I gotta support the boys. And my indie VTuber Oshi is a guy named Axaeon. On the previous slide, I talked about some of my favorite games, but I didn't talk about fighting games. But I like playing fighting games too. I decided that I would show you like who like some of my mains are in some of the games that I like playing, because I am, you know, it felt like it could be interesting and people might be curious. So I so from clockwise, no, counterclockwise from top right, we have Kai from Guilty Gear Strive, Marth from Smash Bros, Sophidia Alexandra from Soul Calibur, and Mai Shiranui from Street Fighter. Yes, that's right, Street Fighter, not Fatal Fury. I will probably end up streaming yeah, fighting games on my channel at some point. I haven't played any in a while because I've been so busy working on my debut, but I'd like to get back into it. Yeah, I know fighting. Back when I was planning my debut, fighting game VTubers or like fighting game VTuber content wasn't as common, and now I feel like more people are getting into it, which is good. It also just mean I would stand out less if I did it, but I think I would still like to do it, even if people are maybe like not as thirsty for that kind of content anymore. I think I would still like to play. And then tags. My tag, so my general tag is hashtag Tia Faire. My stream tag is Fair on Air. Although to be honest, I don't think I know what a stream tag is even used for, but I've included one. I've made one anyway in case somebody out there does know what to do with it and wants to use it. And then my art tag is Art Fair. And my fan name is Disciples of Justice. So if you my fan or you want to become my fan, then you're a disciple of justice. And just as an aside, disciple of justice in Vietnamese would be đệ tử công lý, and I find that interesting because so đệ tử means disciple and công lý means justice, and I find that interesting because the word đệ tử coincidentally sounds like another word, đại tớ, which means servant. So đệ tử and đại tớ, I bet those probably sound similar to someone who doesn't speak Vietnamese natively. So, well, one means disciple, like the first one means disciple, and the second one means servant. So I'll try not to like mix them up or anything. And I want to talk about the Vietnamese word for justice as well, because I think it's really interesting. The word công lý is actually composed of two separate words. Công, which means work or responsibility, like work, like something like that. And then lý kind of, it refers to logic or structure or order, that kind of thing. So if you put those two together, basically that means the Vietnamese word for justice sort of implies that justice is kind of like a collective responsibility, right? Because basically you get kind of like responsibility logic. That's what that means. And I kind of like that because once again, I feel like in the Western tradition, we think of justice as being sort of retributive and sort of an individual's responsibility to dole out. But I kind of doubt that. I think that I'm inclined to think that justice is something that maybe it can really only take place or can best happens when a lot of people are doing their part and pitching in. So it's a shared responsibility. That's what I think anyway. And then my Yoshi mark is, of course, the scales of justice. Although I feel like a lot of websites and platforms render it really weird. Like for some reason, in YouTube chat, it's randomly blue. And I don't know why, but I kind of don't like that design. Like I feel like they should be gold. Like why are they blue? Like I don't understand that. And then I think finally, this is on the last slide. We've been streaming so long. So content and goals. So one of my goals is to get verified on YouTube. For those who don't know, getting verified entails reaching 100,000 subscribers. Now, I know that's not a goal I'm going to reach tomorrow or maybe even in a year. but I think it's possible for me to get there in a lifetime if I work really hard and I play my cards right. I feel like I have a chance, and I that's something I would like to do. Um, I also want to draw stuff. That I know that sounds super vague, but I mean, basically, if you just put yourself, try to see things from my perspective from a second. I've been drawing almost like nothing but myself, but like my design, and trying to draw my VTuber model for 2 years. So I would like to draw other things. Like at this point, just drawing things for fun, or for more fun, or just drawing a variety of things would be a novelty. Just when you consider the fact that I've been drawing for work for such an extended period of time. So I wanna. I have a lot of. I think I have a lot of cool ideas for things I want to draw. And my goal is to ideally post a finished drawing on social media at least maybe once a week or so. I would probably post it on my like Blue Sky and Pixiv and stuff. So you can follow me on at least one of those platforms if you want to um um yeah, like see my art. Sorry, I my brain stopped working for a second. I'm really tired today. I actually slept yesterday. Someone asked me if they thought I would be able to sleep last night, and the answer is yes and no, because I did sleep, but it was only for 3 hours, and then the night before that I only slept 4 hours. So I'm physically I'm in slightly rough shape, but spiritually I'm like at the top of the world right now. And then another goal I have is karaoke once a month. Although I don't know if it's so much as a goal as an ideal, because the thing is, singing takes a lot out of me because it's because of my health issues. Sometimes I have good vocal days and bad vocal days. Honestly, earlier when I was singing, I felt like it was a bad vocal day, which not not really surprising considering I yeah, how little rest I've gotten. But I'm not sure if you guys could tell that I was struggling, but I was. Thankfully, I have enough singing experience that I can get through a performance on a bad vocal day without completely, falling apart. Um, and then, but so yeah, I can't absolutely commit to or guarantee that I will do a karaoke stream exactly once a month, but that is the ideal. I would like to do that. And another goal I have is to sell merch. So now you can see the business major side sort of coming in. I have already some ideas for designs that I want to sell, and my intention is to make all the designs myself and just sell things that I make, because I think that would be really creative and fun. And I also I like money. There's that too. um and then Justice Spoken. What is that? So for those of you who saw my post on my Reddit intro post, you saw that one of my goals is to basically, as a VTuber, I don't want to just do live streams. I want to start creating a series of short videos, hopefully posted bi-weekly, each talking about a different topic from a philosophical standpoint. And I will call this series Justice Spoken. So the first episode has not been produced yet, but I hope that when it comes out, that you guys will check it out. I hope the concept sounds interesting to you, because I don't feel like there's a lot of this necessarily in the VTuber space. And then one of this I wrote this a while back. I'm a little embarrassed to say this out. I'm a little hesitant to say this out loud now because I know there are other philosophers watching this, and I feel like it's kind of cringe. I would not. I would like. Low key, I would like to become the greatest philosopher of the 21st century. And I know I'm still a young philosopher. I know my career has just begun, so it very much remains to be seen as to whether I will come anywhere near close to that goal. But part of the reason I say that is just because I feel like we no longer live in an era of legendary philosophers. Like if you think back to like 18th century, the century is the 19th century, or like ancient times, like there were some big names that we remember from those days, and I feel like it's not like that anymore. But I feel like if there were a big name to like emerge from the 21st century, like especially like after I'm dead, it would be cool if it were me. Tia Faire. And yeah, that's yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed to say more about that, but yeah. And in general, I want to bring justice to the world, or other ways you could other ways you might put this is to try to make the world a better place, or increase the moral value of the world. I genuinely want to use my platform for good and make a difference and help people and inspire them. That's really I hope to actually make a difference with some of with this just with just some of what I do. I as I said on my intro post, knowledge is power, and I can make you strong. So I hope you guys do watch the episodes of Justice Spoken, especially as they come out, and yeah, I hope they eventually get big and that lots of people watch them. And finally, I one of my goals that I set on a long while back was to make friends. But to be honest, I already feel like I've made like a lot of friends lately. Like I started like reaching out to people again, and I feel like I've met really so many like kind and supportive people lately. So I was hoping to make friends through VTubing. But it feels like I already have. So that's one goal that can be check marked off the list, and I'm really happy about that. I hope to make more friends in the future as well. And I believe that brings us to the end of the slideshow. That's the last slide, and really just we're close to the end of my debut in general. I will say a couple things. Yeah, so I said earlier that I initially wanted to produce everything in my debut myself, like make all the assets, including the background. So once again, that ended up not happening. So there were a few things missing from this debut that originally were planned. One was I had designs, I had concepts I wanted to execute for making my own starting and ending screen. I didn't have time for that, so maybe I'll get to that in the future, though that's one thing that's missing. I also wanted to draw a custom microphone asset that I could use when I sang. I guess I could have used a generic one yeah, as a placeholder for now, but I didn't think of that, and I didn't have time to draw the mic. But I already have a design in mind. I just haven't sort of put it to paper or to screen yet. And then the third thing is that I also ideally wanted to have a reference sheet of my character design available for the stream, because I know that you can't see you can't really see from this angle, and especially because I didn't finish the physics on my model, but I actually have like very long hair. Like the back of my hair is tied in a braid that actually basically reaches like butt length, like to the end of my skirt. So, and fun fact, my hair is actually basically that long in real life too, so that's real. But so I actually have long hair, and that's something that would have been shown on the reference sheet. The Penblade, my weapon, also would have been shown on the reference sheet, but I have some sketches already for that. I just haven't had the time to sort of finalize and compile them. So that's also something I will hopefully put out later. And yeah, and then last thing, I guess, is the schedule, which you accidentally got like a sneak peek of, like earlier. It's not what I had in mind. Let's not do that. Okay, so I've decided that I'm not going to be streaming a lot this week, and just kind of ease into it, because you know, I just literally I need to recover from my debut, from I think, and from planning for it. I yeah, the pace that I've been working at, I know it's not sustainable. I can only do that in short bursts. Like, I've started rigging my model on like Tuesday last week. I've been working like 12 hours a day. I did like probably spent like a total of like 50 hours on my model, and that was all over the course of like 4 or 5 days. So I can't do that long term. It worked. I got it. I did it. Like, I got it done, but like I can't keep that up. And yeah, so on Tuesday, the first game I'm gonna be playing is Baba Is You. It's a cute puzzle game, and I know of it. Don't think I've really played it before, but I know of it. I'm kind of interested in it. I thought that since in terms of game choices, especially like first debut week game choices, I felt that this would be a good choice, because it's like a kawaii puzzle game, and it's I thought it would be like a good fit for a girl philosopher, branding wise. So I'm really looking forward to streaming that on Tuesday. It's also like a pretty light game, not too intensive. I think I'll probably might still be tired at that point. And then on Friday, I'm going to be starting a run of Xenoblade X. I'm so excited. I've wanted to stream this game ever since I first finished it. Xenoblade X Definitive Edition in earlier this year. I thought, like, I think this would be a really cool game to stream. So this will be the first big series that I do on my stream. It has got philosophical components to it, and it's also just like really, really, really fun. I will also mention that it won't be a normal run of Xenoblade X. I actually planned for it to be a special themed run, almost like a speed run. And I won't go into what exactly that theme is right now, so you'll see the day of when I start the stream. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys will come watch me. In general, I will post new schedules each week on probably Sunday on my social media. Also, since I've just so regarding Justice Spoken, I mentioned that I want it to be on a bi-weekly schedule. It will eventually come out every 2 weeks on Sunday. But since I've just debuted, this coming next Sunday, there will be no Justice Spoken. I need time to make produce the first episode. I already have an idea for what I wanted to be, but I haven't. I have not otherwise really started on it. So in 2 weeks, that is when the first episode of Justice Spoken will be released. So for now, please be patient. I think with that, that basically concludes my debut. I'll be honest with you, I know what the uptime is, and we've been here for a long time, and that was not intended. I originally planned for my debut to be an hour long, and that didn't happen because I think for 2 reasons. One, I'm very tired. I'm talking slowly. I'm honestly like not as sharp. I don't feel like I'm as sharp as I usually am, so I'm stumbling and rambling a bit. And two, I didn't have enough time to rehearse. I didn't really rehearse at all. Actually, this is all. Uh, a, it's like a cold reading basically. Yeah, I think if I had done my ideal was to do a rehearsal stream and, you know, check the running time among other things, cut it down if need be, you know, take care of the pacing, but that I didn't have time to rehearse. I literally just finished my model yesterday, so yeah, it is what it is. So in light of that, thank you so much for those of you who stayed with me the full 2 hours, or you know, like honestly, even if you dropped in for just like, you know, like a minute, I'm still glad you took an interest in me. But especially to those of you who have been here the entire time, thank you so much for your patience. Yeah, once again, this has been 2 years in the making, so I don't know exactly sort of what this means to me and what the. Maybe I'll know later exactly how I feel about this, all of this, all the support I'm getting when I'm like better rested. I feel like it hasn't really sunk in yet. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you will continue to be here in the future as a disciple of justice. Um, and uh, and yeah, I guess that's it. Um, thanks so much for watching. I'll hopefully see at least some of you on Tuesday when I play Baba Is You. Thanks for watching. See you next time.